Welcome, coin lovers. Today's video will uncover the full history, details, and value of two fascinating Roosevelt dimes, the 1967 dime and the 1999 Philadelphia dime. Stay tuned till the end for all the information. 1967 Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime is one of the most enduring and iconic coins in American history. First issued in 1946 to honor the legacy of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. This dime carries a portrait of him on the obverse side. Roosevelt is remembered as the leader who guided America through the Great Depression with his New Deal programs and through most of World War II. His image on the dime symbolizes not just his presidency, but also his commitment to fighting polio and establishing the March of Dimes, a foundation dedicated to eradicating that disease. For this reason, his portrait on the dime is both historically and emotionally significant for the American people. The 1967 Roosevelt dime belongs to a unique period in U.S. coinage history. During the mid-1960s, the price of silver rose dramatically, and the U.S. Mint made a decision to remove silver from circulating dimes, quarters, and half dollars. Prior to 1965, dimes were struck with 90% silver and 10% copper, but beginning in 1965, the composition was changed to a copper-nickel-clad coin, with an inner core of pure copper and outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This was done to save the government money and to ensure that coins could remain in circulation without people melting them for their silver content. Therefore, the 1967 dime, like the 1965 and 1966 issues, contains no silver, but instead is made of this new clad composition. One of the most interesting facts about the 1967 dime is that it does not have a mint mark. This was part of a temporary policy introduced by the U.S. Mint between 1965 and 1967 in response to a nationwide coin shortage. At the time, people were hoarding coins, especially silver ones, which created circulation problems. In order to discourage coin collecting and ease the shortage, the Mint decided to remove all mint marks from coins for these 3 years. That means whether a 1967 dime was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it would look exactly the same without any mint mark present on the obverse. After 1968, mint marks returned to dimes and other U.S. coins. The design of the 1967 Roosevelt dime remains consistent with the series as a whole. On the obverse, you will find a left-facing portrait of President Franklin Roosevelt, the word liberty along the left edge, the motto, "In God We Trust," below his chin, and the year 1967 to the right. The initials JS, found at the base of the neck, stand for John Sinnock, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint who designed the Roosevelt dime. The reverse of the coin features a torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch on the left, symbolizing peace, and an oak branch on the right, representing strength and independence. The words United States of America appear across the top. E pluribus unum is inscribed on either side of the torch, and one dime is shown along the bottom. In terms of mintage, the 1967 Roosevelt dime is not considered rare. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 2.24 billion dimes that year, which means they are quite common in circulation even today. Because of this high mintage and the lack of silver content, most circulated examples are only worth their face value of 10 cents. However, collectors look for coins in higher grades, especially those that have never been in circulation. Uncirculated or mint state examples of the 1967 dime can be worth significantly more than face value, with prices ranging from a few dollars up to $20 or $30 depending on grade. Another aspect that makes certain 1,967 dimes valuable is the presence of errors or varieties. For example, off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverse errors, or coins struck on the wrong planchets are highly collectible. Such error coins can sell for much higher prices, sometimes hundreds of dollars depending on rarity and demand. Therefore, collectors always carefully examine their 1967 dimes for unusual features that might set them apart from the ordinary issues. When discussing the 1967 Roosevelt dime, it is also important to place it within the broader context of American history. The mid-1960s were a time of economic change, social transformation, and technological advancement. The decision to remove silver from coins reflected not just the rising cost of the metal, but also the government's adaptation to new realities of the monetary system. The 1967 dime, therefore, represents more than just a small piece of currency. It reflects a turning point in U.S. coinage policy and American economics. Collectors today often include the 1967 dime in Roosevelt dime sets, particularly those that cover the clad era beginning in 1965. While the coin itself may not be especially rare, it plays an essential role in completing a collection and tells an important story about the history of U.S. money, its connection to President Roosevelt, its place in the transition from silver to clad coinage, and its unique lack of a mint mark all make a fascinating piece for both casual and serious numismatists. From a value perspective, the average circulated 1967 dime is worth only face value, 10 cents, because of the huge mintage and lack of silver. However, in mint state condition, its value increases. Certified coins in MS-65 or higher can be worth $10 to $20, and superb examples in MS-67 or MS-68 can command even higher prices from dedicated collectors. Proof-like or special mint set coins from that year are also more desirable and can add extra value to a collection. The true excitement, however, comes when an error coin is found, as those can sometimes be valued in the hundreds. To summarize, the 1967 Roosevelt dime may look like just an ordinary coin at first glance, but it has an important story to tell. It reflects the economic pressures of its time, the temporary removal of mint marks, and the lasting tribute to a president who left an indelible mark on American history. For collectors, it is both a common coin and a piece of history worth holding on to, whether you find one in your pocket change or in a coin shop. It is always fascinating to remember the story behind this small but significant piece of American currency. 1999, the Roosevelt Dime. The Roosevelt Dime is one of the most popular coins in the United States and has been in continuous production since 1946. It was first issued to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who guided America through some of its toughest years during the Great Depression and World War II. He was not only a powerful political leader, but also a symbol of hope and recovery. Roosevelt's strong support for the March of Dimes campaign, which helped fight polio, made the choice of placing his portrait on the dime especially meaningful. His face on the dime is therefore not just a tribute to his presidency, but also a reminder of his fight against a disease that he personally suffered from and his commitment to public health. By the year 1999, the Roosevelt dime had already been circulating for over 50 years. The design had remained largely unchanged, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. On the obverse, the coin features a left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt, with the word liberty inscribed on the left edge, the motto "I in God we trust" placed below his chin, the year of issue 1999 located to the lower right, and the small mint mark P for Philadelphia appearing next to the date. The initials JS beneath Roosevelt's neck stand for John Sinnock, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, who designed the dime back in 1946. The reverse of the 1999 Roosevelt dime is equally symbolic. At the center stands a torch, representing liberty. To its left is an olive branch, symbolizing peace, while to the right is an oak branch, representing strength and independence. The design beautifully ties together the values of the nation, liberty, peace, and strength. Encircling the reverse are the words United States of America at the top and one dime at the bottom. Between the branches, the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is inscribed, reminding us of the unity of the states. The 1999 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. By this point in history, mint marks had long been restored after their temporary removal during the mid-1960s. The Philadelphia Mint, one of the most important mints in the country, produced hundreds of millions of these coins in 1999. In fact, more than 1.1 billion Roosevelt dimes were minted that year across all U.S. mints, making the coin very common in circulation. Because of this extremely high mintage, most 1999 dimes are still only worth their face value of 10 cents in circulated condition. The composition of the 1999 Roosevelt dime is the same as other dimes minted after 1965. It is made of a copper-nickel-clad material, with an inner core of pure copper and outer layers composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin weighs 2.27 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. This clad composition replaced the earlier 90% silver dimes that were produced before 1965. As silver prices rose, the U.S. Mint had no choice but to adopt cheaper materials in order to continue minting coins efficiently. By 1999, this clad composition was standard across all U.S. dimes, quarters, and half dollars. While the 1999 Roosevelt Dime is common, collectors still search for certain high-grade examples. Coins that were never used in circulation and remain in pristine mint state condition can be valuable. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC certify these coins, and those in grades such as MS-67 or MS-68 can command higher prices from collectors. In average circulated condition, a 1999 dime is worth only 10 cents, but in superb uncirculated condition, the value can rise to a few dollars or even more for the highest grades. Proof versions of the 1999 dime, produced at the San Francisco Mint with the S Mint mark, are also collectible. These proof coins feature a mirror-like finish and sharp details, making them desirable for collectors of modern U.S. coinage. Error coins from 1999 also attract significant attention. Errors such as off-center strikes, double-die varieties, broad strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet are rare but highly collectible. These types of errors can sometimes sell for much higher prices depending on rarity and demand. For example, a 1999 dime struck off-center with clear detail could bring tens or even hundreds of dollars at auction. Error collecting is a fascinating branch of numismatics, and coins like the 1999 Roosevelt Dime provide plenty of opportunities for enthusiasts to discover something unusual. From a historical perspective, the 1999 Roosevelt Dime is part of an interesting time in U.S. coinage. The late 1990s were a period of transition as the U.S. Mint was preparing for the launch of the State Quarters program in the same year. The success of that program brought renewed interest in coin collecting across the nation. Although the Roosevelt Dime did not undergo any design changes during this period, it continued to circulate widely and remain an essential part of everyday commerce. For many Americans, the dime is one of the most frequently used coins because of its small size and convenient denomination. Collectors today often add the 1999 Roosevelt Dime to their albums as part of a complete set of dimes from 1946 to present. While individually the coin is common, it becomes important in the context of a full dated mint collection. The Philadelphia Mint issues, such as the 1999 P-Dime, are essential for completing such a set. For young collectors or those just beginning, the 1999 dime provides an affordable and accessible entry point into the hobby, while still offering a chance to hunt for rare errors or high-grade examples. In terms of value, the 1999 Roosevelt Dime is generally worth only 10 cents if circulated. However, mint state examples in higher grades can fetch a few dollars, and proof coins can range between $3 and $10 depending on condition. Error coins, as mentioned, can go for much more. While it is not a coin that will make most collectors rich, it holds steady importance as part of the ongoing story of the Roosevelt Dime series, which continues to this day. To summarize, the 1999 Roosevelt Dime with the P Mint mark is a common but historically significant coin. It carries the legacy of President Roosevelt, the symbolism of liberty, peace, and strength, and a modern clad composition that reflects changes in U.S. monetary history. Though not rare, it remains an important collectible and part of the larger Roosevelt Dime series that has become one of the longest-running and most beloved in American coinage. For collectors, the 1999 dime offers a chance to appreciate modern numismatics, search for rare errors, and preserve a small piece of American history. Thanks for watching, coin lovers. If you enjoyed this complete history of the 1967 and 1999 Roosevelt dimes, don't forget to like this video, share it with other collectors, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories. See you in the next one.